Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. We won our previous run, not a train wreck. Little spicy. It had a very poor damage stat, very poor speed stat. Who freaking cares? It's over. BM70 H3GK. With really good stats this time, honestly. I dare not reroll these enemies. I dare not. We're too early. Perhaps at some point, the dream may manifest. But for now, nothing to worry about. You know what? Let me start this episode by saying, if you're still watching Isaac content in 2020, thank you. Just apropos of nothing at all, if you're still here, grinding out this little trough while we wait for the DLC, I appreciate it. I hope that you're still getting entertainment out of the content. And one day, we're going to get there. One day, you're going to open up Steam, or you're going to open up YouTube, and you're going to see that Repentance is out. Or whatever it's called. I don't even remember at this point. And you're going to be like, today's a great day. This is what I put in all those long hours to get. And that's, we really want to go and we'll walk in the sun. But till then, traps like us. You get the idea. Baby, it's an eat and run. Don't shoot me. Alright. Dude, I didn't even see that tinted rock. Very happy to see it. So if you're here, I appreciate you. Now, the second thing is, if you only watch Isaac, what are you doing, dude? It's freaking this 2020. You're telling me you're not watching Golden Goblet? You're not watching Northernlion Tries? You're not watching Dark Souls Randomizer live or in VOD format? I'm just looking out for you. I'm not... Look, that content's already made. Hey, don't hit me. However, I would encourage you to check it out. But if you watch an Isaac, you're only watching Isaac, you watch it to fall asleep at night, I'm happy to be a part of your routine. How am I doing today? Well, thank you for asking, but it is indeed the same day as my previous video in this series. But Dan and I just recorded episode 2 of... You know what? I don't like these guys. Dan and I just recorded episode 2 of our new podcast, Check the Wire. It was a very good episode, got into some real talk, which is something, honestly, like, I'm eager to do on that show, so I'm happy to have the opportunity to do it. So hopefully you guys watched that, because it probably came out like 4 days ago. Oh! Really thought that could have been the secret room there. Magic Mush, please. Told you. Audio-only listeners are like, what? I went over to ask about the rule. Sorry, that's a reference to I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson. If you watched I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson, I'd just like to say thank you. I appreciate you. If you haven't, what are you waiting for? It's 90 minutes of sketch comedy. Honestly, like, if you're asking me what are my favorite pieces of media from the year 2019, number 1 is probably Slay the Spire. Number 2 is probably the film Parasite. But it's close. Actually, maybe number 1 is I Think You Should Leave. But it feels weird. You know, it's like... You feel weird saying, like, a sketch comedy show is your favorite media property of a given year, right? Because you're like, well, as good as it is, it can't possibly be as good as a AAA video game with feels, you know? I rebuke that notion. In terms of the inspiration and the effect that it has had on me, I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson is the most impactful piece of media I saw in 2019. I want to be clear. I'm saying this in a funny voice, but I believe it. In terms of impact on my actual sensibility, this goofy show has had more impact on me than anything else I saw in 2019. Now... Parasite, also amazing. Slay the Spire, had some awesome times with. Just in terms of raw influence, I cannot tell a lie. It's gotta be that. But it was, I know we're almost in March. Why am I still talking about 2019? Well, you know, because now, like, the movies that came out in March are coming out on dang old Blu-ray now. Or not in March, sorry, in December. Are coming out on Blu-ray now, so I can actually, you know, rent them for $6 on Amazon. Honestly, don't shoot the messenger on this one. I just don't really like Golden Teleporter that much. I like it early, but I also hate doing all the exploration necessary to really make it work, so... It's not ideal. I don't think we're gonna really lean into making Golden Teleporter work. But anyway, I will say, again, and I take no pleasure in this, it's just, you know, just is what it is. I don't believe I listened to a single album that was new in 2019. I know you're gonna be like, what about the Billie Eilish album? Don't know it. Don't know it. I'm just gonna be honest, I do not know it. Okay, so we got an issue here. 0.56 speed is pretty bad. What if this is a speed upgrade? What if this is a speed upgrade? What if this is a speed upgrade? Speed upgrade incoming. Oh, that the tears down hurts more than anything you could possibly imagine. I really think because of our damage, we're actually still fine on speed, but probably the easiest way out of this weird situation right now is for us to get the ability to fly from our deal with the devil. If we can get the ability to fly, I think we can switch back into banter mode. Oh, or a speed upgrade is also an easy way to do that, of course. You know what? Now, although we still are a little slow, I think that there is more justification for doing all these rooms because we can save a charge by not having to teleport inside of the boss trap room. So this could really be a helpful moment. I'll tell you, I recognize that comedies... I mean, I'm not immune to biases, right? But I still... Yikes. We should still take verb. Comedies, in all respects, get a little bit less respect than dramas, I think. You know, has a comedy ever won Best Picture? This is where you go to Google Assistant. Has a comedy ever won Best Picture? Okay. Annie Hall won Best Picture in 1977. Anybody watching this that was alive? Second question, because there's probably a few yeses. Anybody watching this that remembers that? Not the movie, because I've seen it as well. But, you know, anybody that was watching the Oscars that night? I've talked about it before in video games. Like, anytime, if you want to see... If you have a lot of followers that are in the gaming industry or follow the gaming industry, and you want to see them, no, get slightly rankled, say that your game of the year is a game that has no story. They'll lose their minds. It happens every time. In the same way that comedy is disrespected by the Academy, and also my Twitch audience when they don't laugh at an incredible joke I made, which happens once or twice a year. In the same way that comedy is disrespected, mechanics are disrespected to some extent in favor of story, I think. I'm not saying story is a negative, but for me personally, I mean, you've heard me say it 20 times, I'm a mechanics dude. You know what one of my favorite semi-recent game stories is? This is gonna throw you for a loop, probably. Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. That game for me... Oh, you're not gonna like this, but I'm gonna say it. That game for me is like... It has a story on par with 2018 God of War. Like, I get God of War, it's an epic tale about, you know, what does family mean, and, you know, it's steeped in this, like, beautiful, grandiose Norse mythology, etc., etc. I'm not hating. Please! However, like, the dialogue... There was a key, maybe? Or a penny? Penny. The dialogue in Getting Over It, where he talks about, like, you know, what's the meaning of culture in a world where you might be watching somebody play through this game live on Twitch and, you know, you're not even playing it yourself. Are you still experiencing it? Blah, blah, blah. For me, like, that's... Probably shouldn't say blah, 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 but you get the idea. That's, like, worth more to me. To be honest, I like that on, like, the same level. I respect it on the same level. Maybe that just makes me a hipster. You know, it's a word I haven't heard that much anymore. I think we're finally leaving the era of anybody wearing glasses and liking non-7-Eleven drip coffee being called a hipster. And I'm here for it. Trust me, as a man who had male pattern baldness, I don't know why the words were stumbling out of my mouth. Check this out. You genius. As a man who had male pattern baldness and very bad eyes requiring thick lenses from a young age, the decade where we were calling everybody hipsters for looking like I look naturally is a dark period in my life. And it didn't help when I became a hipster either. Then I really started to get it. But we're moving on from that. Now on the internet, the preferred slang is anytime you see a man talking to a woman in a normal conversational way, you call him a 4-letter word that starts with S. That I don't even know if it's a bad word or if it's just a meme. But that's, you know, what it's like to be an adult on the internet. Things move fast. Speaking of moving fast, this run is doing okay. Damage-wise is great. Honestly, it's kind of funny, but I also find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. And on top of that, our range is kind of like our worst stat. Which is bizarre. Actually, our speed is still pretty bad. Because of our damage, it's not as bad as it could be. Or it's not as impactful as it could be, but it's definitely not good. And this was not good either. If you're showing me a list of things that are not good, this current situation has got to be relatively high on the list. It's rare you'll have me on a room that makes me wish I still had the D10, and yet here we are. But I think we're still okay. Just gonna be a long, strange trip until we can get to the shop, maybe buy a spirit heart. If that happens, everything's good. This is like a room you always love to see, except when you have bad range. Like that Blind Melon song, you know? All I can say is that my stats are pretty strange. I'd like to shoot the worms, but there's no range. You know. I went for it. You gotta respect I can't sing very well, but I went for it. No range. That's, if you're starting an alternative rock radio station in 2020, that's part of the starter pack. What do you need if you want to start an alt-rock radio station? No Rain by Blind Melon, What I Got by Sublime, 6 Pearl Jam songs, and Plush by the Stone Temple Pilots. I'm not hating, it's my favorite radio station. When the dogs do find her, got time and, oh my god, to find it, to find it. I think I have like a good singing voice, to be honest, but my problem is I just get really bad stage fright. So when I'm alone, I sound amazing, but when I'm around other people, I sound like this. But in my car, oh, dude, you wouldn't even, you'd be like, ooh, who's that? Who's that? World famous current male singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran? I know a couple. Ed Sheeran, Sam Smith, he's one, right? Sam Smith? Doesn't he do the, oh, baby, baby, I'm dancing with a stranger? I'm a little surprised we made it, honestly. But make it, we did. I'll level with you. I'll strike a bargain with you here, Dormammu. If you give me good items from the Deal with the Devil that transformed this run into a true powerhouse, I will consider, not guarantee, but I will consider using Golden Teleporter as intended. We'll see. We'll see. Don't shoot. Well, makes my job a little easier. Just keep moving on here. I mean, I'm happy to have the HP, don't get me wrong. It's not what we want the most, but I think we should be completely fine. The number one thing is just, and this is just the truth in Isaac in general. The less damage you take from preventable situations, the more likely you are to win when you truly encounter the difficult rooms. So I think that I do want that coin, but with our current speed, we missed it on the first pass. I'm not really willing to go back, to be honest. So I think we just got to keep our heads screwed on relatively straight here, and should be good to go. Help. Should be good to go. But speed could hurt, well, I was gonna say hurt, but really could kill us, to be honest. I don't want to make it seem like the run is in a even slightly bad position, but if we don't get either speed or the ability to fly, our maneuverability will likely lead to being hit. This could be a killer card. You know what? It was a killer card. I can live with that. It's very nice as well. Anyway. If you'll just please keep that in there, thank you. As mentioned, today is Thursday. You know what that means. We so excited because tomorrow's Friday. Did you see, I was gonna say she went viral, but I guess it was really her post. She's already been viral for a long time, but Rebecca Black made a post on the 9-year anniversary of Friday's release. It was a very insightful read, because obviously, you know, in 2011, was I there dunking on Friday? Yes, I mean, the song is just abysmal. Really? I don't know, maybe we'd rather have Golden Teleporter. It's a horrible song, but it's not a horrible song, you know, because of the 13-year-old girl who sang it. You know, it's a horrible song because of whatever environment existed that led her to believe that this was a good idea to record and release on the internet, to be honest. And she, you know, was kind of like a laughing stock. And I don't say that to be, you know, rude to her. It's just the reality of the situation. She was made fun of, like, on social media by everyone. And I didn't really think about it. I mean, I've thought about this in the past, you know, we've talked about it before, but that's gotta be, like, super hard. And I mean that sincerely. To be a 13-year-old girl, you know, times probably already pretty confusing and, you know, scary is my guess. And then on top of that, you're like, hey, by the way, I'm infamous now for releasing one of the worst songs of all time. Everybody makes fun of me. It was on Jimmy Fallon last night. That's gotta suck, dude. You think you're, like, embarrassed to go to high school? Oh, I got this big zit on my forehead. Imagine releasing Friday. And then having it follow you around forever. Or for a long time, at least. So, I was happy to see, you know, first off, I was happy to think about it a little bit, because I hadn't thought about it. Obviously, everybody already knows, you know, actions have consequences and stuff like that, but I hadn't thought about it with respect to Rebecca Black. Should I be standing here? Probably not. It's a little slippery. I've really learned, though, I think when you fight this guy, you just want to go fast. Maybe not that fast. Okay, very thankful for that. Not very thankful for this, though. Not very thankful for this. Range down. I'm drowsy. That's okay. All right, moving on. I think it always, you know, it bears thinking about it at the very least. With adults, it's different, right? Like, I don't ever want to, you know, express the idea that you can guiltlessly make fun of an adult, because it always hurts. And you see people, like, for lack of a better term, I've seen other people that do what I do be completely driven insane by comments and commenters. And, you know, it sucks, because I'm like, man, you're like 40 years old, and, you know, some dude with a Goku avatar made fun of you, and you're like losing your mind. But I do also get it, believe it or not. But for a kid, it's like, you know, so much worse. You know how many, like, dumb ideas we've all had when we were kids? You know how many dumb ideas I had, like, last week? We still talking about the toothbrush that you just put it into your mouth and it brushes all your teeth? You don't have to use the rudimentary old brush anymore. You can just, why would I use this? You can just put like a mouth guard in. Or what about, I still think this idea will work. And I think that in 100 years or maybe 15 years, people will look back on this and be like, that was a good idea. I don't care to get royalties. You know, that's not for me to judge. I just want to acknowledge that, and I will take this with me, to be honest. I just want you to acknowledge that I was in the right on this one. Eventually, we will have a mask that you can put on that will shave your whole face for you. Prepare yourself, it's coming. Does it sound scary? Yeah, it's just... But a lot of things sound scary if you do them wrong. You know, hey, let's have a machine that sends you through, it allows you to travel through traffic at 150 miles an hour, you know? That sounds dangerous. We're still using cars every day. I'm not suggesting that, you know, the mask that shaves your whole face and neck in one fell swoop is as revolutionary an idea as the car, necessarily. But I'm saying that, you know, how are we gonna know unless we try it? Please let me out of this room. Like, I'm almost at the point. Not at the point, but almost at the point where I'm like, we gotta use bombs to just bomb our way through all these rooms. I want to win, and I want to do what it takes to win, but not if what it's going to take to win is going to take a long time. Just give me the easy way out, okay? Give me the slap chop. I'm ready. I never got a verdict on the slap chop, by the way. 2 verps, huh? We have a... I mean, a slap chop is an old concept in food preparation. It's just called like a mandolin. We have a mandolin, and we use it for food prep now and then, and it's fine. It's a little tricky to clean, that's about it, but it's worth it, I think. It is also a little dangerous, but, you know, just don't slice your fingers off, forehead. It's easy. Where did that come from? But I never, because, like, I innately distrust the infomercial products, of course. I think a lot of people do. But I have to admit, there are exceptions. One of my roommates in college had the Magic Bullet, the blender that was always advertised on late night TV. And I gotta say, the Magic Bullet was a completely serviceable blender. Easy to clean, dishwasher safe. Could cut through frozen mango. That was a legitimate product. I don't know if I've ever had another product that was advertised on late night TV, though. You know what annoys me the most about late night TV? Oh, you know what? Actually, I have. When I was in high school, I had a Bowflex. It wasn't actually a Bowflex, like it wasn't a name brand Bowflex, but it was one of those like cable weight systems. And I gotta say, it was fine. Like the idea that the Bowflex is a scam, I honestly can't speak to whether or not it's too expensive, because I don't remember how much it cost. Because it was a Canadian knockoff, it was probably like 1/3 the price. I don't want it. I don't want it. But it was fine. You know, I think it's one of those inventions where, like, you know, what you get out of it is equal to what you put in, you know? Is it the most cost-efficient fitness solution? Probably not. Will it get you... I didn't mean to do that, by the way, but now we should just let it roll. Will it get you where you need to go? Fitness-wise, if you, you know, if you exercise regularly and eat right, worked for me. Thank you, mind. Please. Yeah, but I don't think I've had anything else. But what I was gonna say, let's get to the good stuff. I really hate holistic health remedies being advertised on late night TV. Like, it's one of those, and it's not just, like, natural wellness stuff. There's also, like, you know, my least favorite for sure is, like, we bake bread with the recipe that Jesus Christ left in, like, the Old Testament or something like that, and then people are like, I have fibromyalgia and this bread cured my pain. I'm like, dude, you're a scumbag. You're not the person giving the testimonial, because I don't know the situation there, okay? But, like, the people running this ad, you're a real piece of work. You're a piece of garbage. You don't hear me say that too much, but I'm going in on that one. Please tell me this is our curse room. But those are the ones where it's like, hey, you're up at midnight watching TV. Does your back hurt? Well, just get one of these bracelets that shoots negative ions into your wrist, and you'll be fine. That stuff drives me up the freaking wall. Blenders, I'm like, whatever, dude. That and, like, you know, because we pay a mortgage now, I had to become educated about, like, you know, you see these commercials on TV that are like, bad credit, no problem. Just go use our company to give you a mortgage, and, you know, we don't really care if you've ever had problems paying it back. So it's not, like, I'm savvy enough to be like, there's a catch somewhere. And the catch is, you know, because they're basically, you know, don't take this the wrong way, but they're kind of doing junk lending. The interest rates are just absurd to make up for the level of risk inherent. You're like, oh my god. To some extent, buyer beware, okay? But I'm also like, I guess it's not for me to say, oh my god, we almost did it. It's not for me to say, like, it should be illegal or something, because, like, how do I know, right? And maybe there are people who have success stories. They're like, I wasn't able to get a mortgage, so I went to this company. And yeah, the interest rate is, you know, 17% above prime. But, you know, that's the situation I put myself in, and I was able to use it to pull myself up on my bootstraps. But I'm sure there's also a lot of stories of people that are like, yeah, I don't know, the bank wouldn't give me a mortgage, so I just went with whoever would, and now I'm bankrupt, and these guys own my house. That stuff drives me crazy, dude. I think you might not see those ads that much. I think I didn't see them that much in my hometown, but, like, Vancouver has a very large amount of people who are, like, they have a net worth in the millions because they own their own homes, but they don't have any disposable income because all the money is, their entire net worth is concentrated in their house, right? That's how you end up with these people that are like, yeah, my net worth is, like, you know, $2.5 million, but also I can't afford groceries. It's a weird situation. And I know, like, because, don't take this the wrong way. Is the right idea there to sell your house? Yes. But I also, it's kind of like it's a young person's attitude to some extent, I think. Like, I've said it before, you know, if you're, like, house poor, why don't you just sell your house, move, and rent, right? But, on the other hand, you know, maybe you built that house. Maybe you raised your kids in that house. Maybe you've lived in that house for your whole life, you know? It's hard to just, for some people at least, to be like, oh, I'm just gonna cut ties with all the lies that you've been living in. It's hard for some people to do that. I understand it's not like an automatic thing. But I do think that what that leads to in Vancouver is like this kind of market situation, or condition, my bone hard, dude, where people are like, well, my house is worth $2 million. I don't have, you know, good income necessarily, but I'd really like to remodel our bathroom, so I'm gonna, like, refinance our house to put in a nice bathtub, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, I just put my house as collateral against my own bathroom, and now I'm broke, you know? Now I have to declare bankruptcy. Anyway, those are just my two. Hey, I'll have you know, I may not be an expert, but I have seen The Big Short, and I remember a lot of it. Margot Robbie was in it. I do remember that part quite vividly. The rest of it, something to do with Steve Carell. Good odds on the deal with the devil here. Oh, it's been working gangbusters, dude. I also think that, you know, there's an attitude that's like you reap what you sow, right? I see it. I go to the Vancouver subreddit. Parts of the Vancouver subreddit are toxic, and I completely understand why. Maybe you grew up in this city, and now to buy a home, you know, you need to win the lottery. That it's messed up, and it's true for a lot of places worldwide now, and not just major cities. Like even my hometown is like in Ontario. It's a relatively like desirable place to live, but there's a housing crisis there as well. There's a rental crisis, you know. There's something like sub like 0.1% vacancy rates or something like that. Like it's crazy. And we rented forever. I've been on both sides of the coin without a doubt. We might as well fish for guppy. Fish for a cat. What a story, Mark. But you know, people are like, I can't wait till the crash happens and all these people who are like over leveraged go down. And I'm like, trust me, dude, I was there. I was waiting for the crash for a long time. It may still come. It could happen. But you know, you also realize, you know, like when you're on the outside looking in, it's a little different. You know, you realize sometimes you're like, well, people, you know, they sometimes, I'm trying to think of how to approach this. You should never live above your means unless like somehow you have no other option. I can't even construct the scenario, but you know, maybe you and your partner have been waiting to like get into the housing market because you live in like a 300 square foot like converted garage or something like that. And you want to start a family, but you're like, we can't really realistically do that here, and I can't move cities because, you know, I have like a good job here, but it's not quite good enough to pay for a home, but my salary will drop like, you know, 40% if I move to a different market. You know, people get like kind of stuck into those situations, and, you know, they make a decision eventually. And I really think like most people who are, you know, like buying into a home are not doing it to be like, this is gonna make us so much money. I think they're like, oh, this place is nice, I can see us living here. But I don't know, it's a complicated issue that, to be honest, I don't have that much insight in. All I'm saying is I understand the resentment, for sure. There's a lot of that talk now, again, because, I mean, I don't know if anything will come of it, but there's a little bit of speculation that Vancouver may make a bid for the 2030 Winter Olympics. And I'll admit, so I know that the conventional wisdom is that the Olympics are like a money pit. But if I remember correctly, at least everybody in Vancouver tells me that the Vancouver Olympics came in like on budget or close, and were well run and very financially lean compared to like some of the most egregious examples. Plus, we already have that infrastructure still here, you know, because it's a major city. We have like stadiums and, you know, close mountains and ski hills. Yeah, it doesn't snow that much, but, you know, you can get around that. And people are like, well, you know, the Olympics are cool, for sure. But on the other hand, the Olympics also, like, you know, they kind of perhaps contributed to the rise of, like, unaffordability in Vancouver because, you know, we attracted a lot of, like, foreign investment, and then people came here and were like, oh, we love the city. So, like, do we really want to do that again? But then the other side of that is, like, well, what else can you do, you know? Don't tell anybody that your city's cool? I don't know, like... It's weird. I will say, like, you know, I haven't looked at the financials, but in principle, I am, like, pro having the Olympics here. I think it would be really cool. Obviously, I'm a little biased. And to be honest with you, for the 2010 Olympics, they already built, like, a new highway, or refitted the Sea to Sky highway, and also built, like, a new train line that the city uses all the time. So I'm like, they can't really ask for that much more. I'm kind of open to it. Now, we were, you know, because the North America's doing the combined World Cup, Vancouver went out of the running for that, and I was like, oh, I get it. I'm not too worried about that. I lived in a city in South Korea that, you know, was part of the 2002 World Cup. Obviously, I wasn't there when it happened. So, you know, this city, which admittedly had like a few million people, it was called Daegu, South Korea. They built a state-of-the-art sports arena, or sports stadium, to host World Cup games. It hosted like 5 World Cup matches. And then I lived like, I don't know, less than a 30-minute walk from it. And I had never went. Like, there was never anything there. The soccer team didn't play there. The baseball team didn't play there. The only thing that happened there is in 2011, the IAAF World Track and Field Championships came there. And the only reason I even know that is because it was hyped up for like a whole year that I lived there, that Usain Bolt was going to be there at the height of his popularity post-2008 Olympics, just pre-London 2012 Olympics, where he was expected to, you know, and did, you know, win a bunch of gold medals. So everybody was like, dude, you gotta go see the 100-meter dash. Usain Bolt's gonna be there. He false started and got disqualified from the race. People were displeased. Anyway, it is what it is. I think I'd be open to it. I don't know. It depends. If they're like, oh, we're gonna raise property tax by like, you know, we're gonna double it to pay for the Olympics, I'd probably be like, I'm less for it. I'll just watch the Sapporo Olympics on TV instead. I gotta tell you, I'm ready for this run to be over. Don't want to get, you know, don't want to move too fast that I cause myself some problems. But I am like, you know, we got double orbitals all the way across the sky. I think it's our moment. This run, it never really got to, like, critical mass. It almost got there. Like, it's pretty great. But it didn't quite reach the highs that I thought it would, it was possible to reach. This is a run where we're always going to ask ourselves, man, what if? Tell you, if Coach put me in 1982, we would have won state, dude. I know it. I know it. Don't do your deeks, your little Matt Zuccarellos on me. Don't you do that. That's all right. 9 lives plus Guppy's Paw equals we win. Oh my God! Just let me find the boss fight, please. I'm begging you. I'm begging you to let me find the boss fight. Oh, the guys? Burkano, what's wrong with you, dude? I went over to ask about the rune. Can we go this? We went that way. Can we go this way? We can go this way. I think it's fair compensation for me to get an item for all of my troubles here. Nope, okay. Disregard that. Apparently I'm a piece of garbage. Oh, I forgot you were still alive. Honestly, the fastest way out of this room is to just die and teleport one room back. I'm resisting every temptation, and trust me, the temptation is there. I'm resisting the temptation to be like, who made this curse? This curse is so stupid. Hey, look at me. I don't know where I'm going. I'm a curse. We're not going to do that. We don't have to do that. It doesn't have to go there. But, sir, I'm begging you. I'm begging you for mercy. Why won't you release me? I'm begging you for mercy. How did we dodge it? Why won't you release me? Try not missing with all your bombs. That's a good trick. Luck upgrades? Luck upgrades? No luck upgrades? I know, I know. The curse, we can't control the curse, okay? All we can control is our reaction to the curse. Now, do I feel my blood starting to bubble as if it's about to reach a pitched boil? Yes, yes I do. I do feel that. My doctor would now ask me to take 10 seconds out of my day and go, hoo ha. Just relax, it's just a video game. It's just a video. But when you say it's just a game, that's a weak mindset. When you don't get angry at a loss, you just lost twice, brother. So get angry. Take this curse out of the game. I'm done with it. Please, give me a card. Give me a card. A card of some merit. You are not a card of some merit. You are an item of no merit whatsoever. He's done it! Okay. We solved the matrix multiplication necessary there. Great work. Great work. And then here's what you do, okay? We're gonna do some, I was just gonna say, some heavy orbital math. Because I'm like, send this. Oh, baby. Okay, that's enough of that. The orbital damage was very nice. Now it's time to protect that investment. Or immediately get hit. One of the two. I haven't decided yet. Pretty close to mathematical certainty, but things can go wrong. We've been there. The soul is such an underrated item. Underrated by me, to be honest. Very nice for our quality of life. Please. You're dead. You're just accept it. You've died. I beat you. Well, for now, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya.